everyone! Today we are not talking about visual storytelling, but instead I'm gonna try to film how I learn how to draw digital backgrounds. I have been drawing digitally for almost 2 years now and I really got used to it. I also got much quicker at it. I am not afraid of drawing characters digitally anymore and feel much more comfortable with it. In some cases, it's even more preferable to me to do a picture digitally rather than traditionally. But one thing still terrifies me. Backgrounds. I'm used to drawing black and white backgrounds for manga. They are pretty straightforward. There is only black and white and anything in between you just kinda hatch. But digital backgrounds is a different story. There are different textures, colors, shapes, shadows. Where do I even start? I actually did draw like 2 or 3 backgrounds digitally already, but I didn't really know what I was doing. It took me way too long and the results are just like not satisfying at all. So in a way it feels like I'm a beginner, just like when I started drawing characters digitally. It's just a little bit frustrating spending so much time on a picture and just not getting the results you want. So in order to get past this beginner stage, I decided to do 1 week where I draw backgrounds digitally. I just gotta force myself to do it, even if it terrifies me and really pushes me out of my comfort zone. And well, it won't be a whole week because I still have a part-time job and Sunday is reserved for D&D. But the rest of the time I try to draw as much as I can. And even if it's gonna be only 2 pictures in the end or something, I really hope that I will have learned something from it. So yeah, I'm kinda excited, but also terrified. So, before I start, there were some things that I had to do beforehand. First comes the theory. In order not to have to do every mistake myself, I watched some YouTube videos on how to draw backgrounds digitally. There are a lot of different approaches by various artists, but here are some things I wrote down for myself. It's best to use square brushes or kind of marker that doesn't thin out depending on pressure. Basically a brush that becomes thinner if you apply less pressure might cause a nice effect for drawing characters, but it's not preferable for backgrounds. The brushes should have some kind of texture. That helps. Also, I have to learn to work in blocks of color and try to see shapes instead of lines. I am using Clip Studio Paint and there are not that many videos about drawing landscapes in this program. They are mostly black and white because the program is used mostly for drawing manga. So instead I watched tons of videos about other programs, so I try to kind of apply the same techniques into this program. Most of the settings are the same, the most difficult thing is to find the right brushes. And the last point I wrote down for myself is that I probably will have to still use line art because it will suit my style better rather than having no line art. So what I did next was going to Clip Studio Assets and download some brushes that might work. I try to look for free brushes, as spending money is not an option for me at the moment. And also I try to work with what I have at hand before I spend tons of money on brushes that might not even be useful. So I downloaded a couple, dropped them into the according toolbox and tried them out. Some of them look pretty good. Next step was to decide what I'm gonna draw. I wanted to take some reference photos, but the weather didn't play along. So instead I'm gonna use some reference I found on the internet. And just have to make sure not to copy any picture too much, but to only use some elements. Next I wrote down what I'm gonna do on each day. And now it's Monday and I can start. But first, I gotta have breakfast, do some yoga, do grocery shopping, finish a manga page since I didn't manage to do so on the previous day, and other projects want my attention too, you know, have lunch and then go to work. Come back to work, dinner, and now I can start. It's 6 p.m. already. First thing I wanted to draw was a street view with tall buildings. For that, I looked up how to create a perspective ruler in Clip Studio and just started to fill in the shapes in gray tones. I also roughly sketched in the characters that would be in the foreground, just to see how they will fit into the picture. This drawing is for a special project of mine, so I won't be drawing the characters in this video, but I still had to do the test. Then I started to roughly sketch where the windows would be. At this stage, I'm still just trying out the different brushes I downloaded to see which might work best for what elements. I settled on this one watercolor brush, which I pretty much ended up using all week. Next step was to sketch out the actual details while using various reference pictures. I colored the sketch red so I can see it. But now comes the hard part, color. First I just filled out the blocks without actual line art, just to see how it looks. But soon enough I realized I have to have line art. It just works better for me, as I'm not a good painter. Okay, I started doing the details before I should have done the basic shapes, so then I stopped concentrating on the details and then I did the basic shapes again. But it looks all way too colorful. This is all just not right. I need to really change the colors, make everything more... It just pops out and all the colors are kind of biting and it just doesn't look really nice and real and... yeah, it's hard. Okay, it's almost 10 p.m. and this is how far I have come. It's not really impressive and it's quite painful because it's a lot of trial and error. Windows, as per usual, just take ages. Well, but now I'm gonna go to bed or watch an episode of something, and yeah, we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, it's Tuesday. I already had breakfast, did some yoga and some household stuff that won't be done by itself. It's 10 a.m. now, and since I don't have to go to work today, I can spend all day drawing. But in the evening I am meeting a friend for dinner, so I have to leave around 5:30 maybe in the evening. So yeah, it gives me some time to draw. And I don't know how far I come, we'll see. I hope I can be done by tomorrow with this one particular picture. It would be nice if I were done today, but I don't think this will be the case. It takes me way too long. By the way, the perspective rule is pretty nice, so you can find it here. The tools, and then here perspective rule, and then you just draw like things. Well, I can't explain it too much now. But anyways, it will be created in a separate layer. Come on, focus. Okay, camera is struggling. Oh, my technology is struggling today. Ugh. Anyways, it will be in a separate layer. So if it's not visible, then you can just draw wherever. But if you activate it, then you can see the grid here, and then your pen will snap to the grid, which is pretty sweet. So I have a cup of tea, a tablet, and some video running in the background as a kind of motivation, inspiration by Mateusz Urbanovic. Not sure how to pronounce it. He is amazing. It's really great. A great inspiration. Although, like, the style he does is not exactly what I'm going for, but I did learn a lot from him. Like, it helped me to get started. Okay, let's go.
we're back at making some budget-friendly meals in today's video, and just like last time, all of the recipes that we're going to be making come out to be under €2 per serving, which is about $2 US. Freshness from the marinated artichoke hearts and tomatoes, and then the warmth from the spices makes this dish incredibly comforting and delicious.
Okay, it's 2 p.m. and this is how far I've come. By now I'm cheating a little bit because there will be some characters in the foreground, so I'm not drawing all the details back there, even though it wouldn't take super long. But yeah, any time I can save, I will save it. I think I'm mostly done. Like I said before, like the background buildings, the very background buildings, I'm not gonna finish because it will all be covered by characters in the foreground anyways. It's not too bad, it's alright, but still looks really cartoony. I might go back to it tomorrow or some other day and maybe change the colors a bit and just see whether I can, make it less cartoony. Then again, it's not too bad. This was hard. Unfortunately, I had a migraine attack on Tuesday evening while I was out with my friend, so in order to recover a bit, I took Wednesday morning off. By the way, the migraine attack has nothing to do with being overworked or stressed or anything like that. It's September already, and this is the first time this year that I got a migraine attack, so most probably it's simply due to the weather. The seasons are changing. After work, I made some dinner and continued with Backgronds. Okay, I had my dinner and I do feel a little bit tired but motivated. So, since I didn't really have anything particular in mind for to draw, I decided to do some, concept art sketches for my manga. I do want the world to have a certain kind of aesthetic, but I never really put much of it on paper except for straight onto the manga pages. So in order to have it more shaped and more thought through, I think some concept art sketches would be pretty nice. Only that I usually never find the time to do them. I have collected some reference pictures for the kind of direction I want to go to, and yeah, let's see whether I can even sketch properly digitally. I don't do it very often. The concept sketches I did were for the city Seneca, a major location in my manga. It is supposed to be a somewhat futuristic but really green city. It praises itself on being very environmentally friendly and really pleasant to live in. Basically, wherever you are in the city, you are still surrounded by nature. It looks almost overgrown, but not post-apocalyptic like in The Last of Us, for example. Even though the last sketch is the roughest one I did, it's still one where I think, yeah, this is the kind of city I can imagine myself living in. The highway is high above and separated from the city, so there is no traffic. Modern and traditional buildings next to each other. There is a river, and also some leisure areas. Sometimes a shitty sketch is all it takes to get a vision for your world building. Well, this is it for the day. Not exactly the most productive day, but I think like with the last sketch I did, the concept art sketch, I feel like I made a kind of breakthrough. I have a more clear vision of what Seneca, the city, is supposed to look like. There are a lot more of places in the world of Another Me that I need to design that would look completely different to Seneca, but I'm gonna do that just another day. So tomorrow I don't have to go to work, I don't have any plans for the evening, so all day I can just draw and have no other appointments, which is great. I hope I can be productive. Okay, same routine as always. Breakfast, yoga, and some household stuff. My plan for Thursday was to draw some nature. Mountains, water, trees. I also wanted to do it as a photo study. So I looked through the photos I took during my Japan trip last year and decided to go with this one. First the rough sketch, where I just decide what's gonna be where. And everything after that is just learning by doing. First I filled in the basic colors. Then I started filling out the details, but soon enough I had to scratch those. Then I tried to do some line art with the marker tool, but didn't like that either. The first minor breakthrough came when I started drawing the foreground. I kept the line art really thin and then just tried to pick the right colors. I did not use a color picker as I'm trying to train my brain to see colors better. I had to reduce the details a lot as photorealism is not my goal here. Also, as a comic artist, it's better to be rather quicker than extremely detailed. It's 4:20 p.m. and I'm done already. I did not expect that. It was much faster than expected. Then again, the picture is on the simpler side. I think I'm rather happy, like not completely, but I think I like the direction of it. Maybe just gonna color some of the line art. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? Well, first let's have a break.
Cookies.
Yeah, so I decided that's it for today. One painting is enough. I think it will be better for my creativity not to do anything today anymore. No, I mean it. It's just like my plan was to do one painting and that should be enough. If I have free time left, I guess I should just enjoy it, even though I feel like I should be doing more. But sometimes less is more. Oh yeah, I do have some things to cut, some prints to cut for a convention, so I might be doing that. That doesn't need my creativity, but I can still be productive. Tomorrow I will be working all day, so by the time I have come back home and cooked and have eaten, it will be around 7. So my original plan was to not do anything, and I might stick to it, or I might do something maybe if I feel like it. I'll see. I guess I will just decide tomorrow after I'm home. So maybe see you tomorrow, maybe see you on Saturday. So I had 2 breakfasts already, an intense yoga session, maybe that's why I needed 2 breakfasts, and took a shower, so now I guess I'm ready to start. I would be lying if I said I'm motivated today, but I gotta do this. So yeah, today is gonna be a little bit more ambitious. Maybe that's why motivation is a bit lower. I want to kind of combine things from the previous days. So I want to create some concept art, but not quite as sketchy as on, but it's gonna be more detailed and more just thought through. So yeah, first I gotta do some research, because the place I'm gonna draw will be location in my manga that will be important in volume 3. So it got to look good and it has to have some realism to it, so it kind of makes sense on its functionality. So yeah, research first. background week. Those are the results. There are 4 stages of competence in the learning process. Stage 1 is unconscious incompetence. It's where you are not quite aware of how much you suck, so you just keep going for the pure fun of it. Stage 2 is conscious incompetence. It's when you realize you suck, but you don't quite know yet how to improve your skill. Stage 3 is conscious competence. You start being pretty good at the thing you are trying to do, but it still takes you a lot of conscious effort to improve your skill. And stage 4 is unconscious competence. It's when you are pretty good at something and it doesn't take you a lot of effort to do it anymore. With drawing, I feel like I have been stuck at stage 2 for years now. From time to time I might even be at stage 3, but stage 4 seems to be totally out of reach. But this week I hope I have been able to at least get past stage 2 when it comes to digital backgrounds. But the learning never stops. Thank you for watching. If you want to see the last background finished, follow me on social media. I will finish it eventually and then post it online. Meanwhile, you can read my manga online. All the links are in the description box below. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!